Okay, so if you're a parent, you know this. Your kids are digital natives, but their money? It's often stuck in the analog age. Today, we're going to break down how you can teach them about crypto and digital assets. And look, this isn't about risky gambling. It's about giving them an essential life skill for the future. So, let's dive right in.
All right, so let's just kick things off with a big question, right? Our kids are gaming, they're chatting, they're learning. Everything they do is in a digital space. But how are we teaching them about money? A lot of the time it's with, a physical piggy bank. There's this huge disconnect between their world and their financial education. And honestly, it's setting them up to be unprepared for the economy they're going to walk right into.
In this quote from the source material, man, it just nails it. This whole conversation, it's not about trying to get rich quick. Not at all. It's about building like a protective shield for our kids. It's about giving them a genuine leg up by laying down a solid foundation for their financial future.
Okay, so if we're going to build that shield, we've got to start with the why. We really need to wrap our heads around just how dramatically the very concept of money has shifted. I mean, this isn't some optional elective anymore. This is an essential lesson for anyone who wants to navigate the world we live in now.
Think about it. The change is, well, it's simple on the surface, but it's incredibly profound. Money used to be tangible, right? Something you could actually hold in your hand. Coins, bills, stuff you'd put in a physical bank. Now, value is digital. It's literally lines of code. It's tokens that can zip across the globe in an instant, no bank required. Just getting that one idea down is the absolute first, most crucial step.
And that's why we have to completely reframe this whole conversation. Let's get risky investing out of our heads. This is about handing our kids a new kind of tool, a tool that lets them learn firsthand about things like scarcity, value, and responsibility. And guess what? They're going to need those skills because they're heading into an economy that's built on those very concepts.
So, to use these tools the right way, it all starts with a change in mindset. The goal here is not about making a quick buck. It's about building a family culture around financial smarts and thinking long-term. It's about getting smart and doing it together.
All right, but how in the world do you explain a digital asset to a kid without their eyes glazing over? Easy. You forget all the complex jargon. The analogies here are perfect. Just tell them to think of it like a super rare collectible in their favorite video game, or the points they rack up, or even just a virtual allowance. It's just something that has value, that they own and control, all in the digital world. Simple as that.
And look, to really make this stick, it has to be a shared family adventure. And it's built on these 4 pillars. First, discipline. That just means making smart choices, not emotional ones. Second, patience. You got to remember this is a marathon, not a sprint. Third is long-term thinking, being able to see past whatever the latest trend is. And honestly, the most important one, doing it all together, learning as you go as a family.
Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now it's time to get down to brass tacks. Let's get practical with the how. I'm going to walk you through a super simple 3-step action plan that literally any family can get started with, like today.
And here it is. The whole plan rests on 3 main pillars. Pillar 1, safety first, always. Pillar 2, start small and be consistent. And Pillar 3, document your journey. All right, let's break each of those down.
First up, step 1. And let me be clear, this one is completely non-negotiable. Digital safety is not a one-and-done lesson. It has to become a family habit. It needs to be a constant, ongoing conversation about being smart, being careful, and being aware online.
So here's your checklist, your game plan for safety. First, the absolute basics we should all be doing anyway, right? Strong passwords, 2-factor authentication. Done. Second, you want to set up wallets that are either parent supervised or specifically made for kids. Third, you got to teach them the #1 rule of the internet. If something sounds way too good to be true, it's a scam. And finally, and this is maybe the most critical part, you have to secure your recovery phrase. Think of this thing as the one and only master key to your entire digital vault. You write it down on a piece of paper and you hide it somewhere safe, offline, where no hacker can ever get to it. Period.
Okay, on to step 2. Start small. You really don't need a lot of money to do this. A great way to think about it is just to adapt the good old-fashioned allowance. Maybe half of it goes to spending, about a third goes to regular savings, and then you carve out a small slice, say 20%, just for learning about and getting some hands-on experience with digital assets. It's a fantastic way to build that habit of consistent, small-scale investing.
And just remember, this quote really captures the whole point of starting small. The return on investment you're aiming for here, it isn't dollars and cents.
Not yet. It's understanding. It's the knowledge. It's the confidence that your kid is building just by going through the motions. That's the real prize.
And that brings us to step 3. Now this, I think, is a really cool concept from our source material. It's called creating a WAR library. WAR stands for Wealth, Archive, and Record. But forget boring spreadsheets. I want you to think of it more like your family's financial adventure log, a journal where you track everything, the wins, the losses, the lessons on this journey.
So why bother doing this? Because it changes the game completely. You're writing down your decisions, you're tracking your progress, you're literally turning your mistakes into written lessons so you don't repeat them. Like you could write down, hey, we almost clicked on a fake link today. Lesson learned, never trust urgent emails. See? You're not just building financial wealth, you're building this incredible library of family knowledge, of intellectual capital that will be absolutely priceless down the road.
All right, let's pull this all together. When you look at this 3-step plan, you realize it's not really about buying a few digital tokens, is it? It's about something way, way bigger than that. It's about being deliberate, about intentionally building your family's digital legacy.
And here it is, the big takeaway. If you remember only one thing today, please let it be this. The goal here isn't profit, it's preparedness. It's about getting your kids ready for the world that's not just coming, it's already here.
Because what you're actually doing, what you're really building, are character traits that will last a lifetime. You're not just raising kids who know how to invest, you're raising future-ready digital wealth builders. You're raising young adults who have the confidence, the independence, and the resilience to walk into a complex digital economy and thrive.
So we're going to leave you with a question. The tools are out there. The plan is simple. And the future isn't waiting. You don't have to be a crypto wizard to do this. You just have to be a prepared parent. This whole journey can kick off today with just one simple conversation. So the only question left is, what's your family's digital legacy going to be?